What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Heat and Soul Podcast. Before we hop into the video, I do want to say thank you to Matty Ice. I had a great time talking to him. We had a great conversation. Make sure to watch the whole video and go check out his social medias as well. Go follow us on Instagram at Heat and Soul Podcast. We have some shirts dropping real soon. They look really nice, really clean. Pink, cream, white, black. Make sure go follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to us down low as well. Hit that subscribe button, like it, and share the video. Heat and Soul Podcast. Let's hop into the video right now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Heat and Soul Podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Matty Ice. How are you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been following you for a very long time now, so I'm excited. I DM'd you about a month and a half ago while the season was still going on, and I was like, man, I got to get this guy on the podcast. And he just got back with me about last week, and we've worked a couple things out, and we're here now. We're doing a podcast, so I'm really excited.
Yes, sir. I'm excited too, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna kick things off. We're gonna talk about his journey. He's done with college basketball now. Congratulations on your season. I know it didn't end the way you probably wanted it to, but you know what I mean. But congratulations on your season.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a great ride, man. It's a great
Yeah,
ride.
definitely. So let's kick it off. Where did you get started in basketball? Like, what started? What was your upbringing?
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Like growing up, I probably picked up a basketball at like age 3 or 4. Just playing out in my backyard. I with my mom and my brother, like just kind of got introduced to the game that way, and then from there started playing in little YMCA leagues, and I just started to develop a love for the game. I remember watching NBA games, like it's been so long. I don't know who was playing at the time, but I don't know. I think growing up, like I always modeled my game after Steph Curry, and just
Okay.
seeing what he used to do back in his younger days kind of gave me like that, that like motivation was like, yeah, I wanna hoop, So
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I kind of got, introduced and fell in love with the game.
Okay. So you kind of mimicked. I don't want to say mimicked, but after your game after Steph Curry.
For sure. Yeah. I like, if you know me, like, like I'm a shooter. So like, yeah, from watching the Curry all those years is like that gave me like the motivation to like, be a shooter and stuff like that. So
Yeah. What like with Steph Curry, was there anybody else that you idolized? Like I know a lot of people say like Kobe, like I mimic my game after Kobe, but why Steph Curry?
I just, like everybody knows, like, back in the day, he was like a baby face assassin. Like, if you were to look
Yep.
at all the players on the court, you would never expect him to go off. So I kind of saw a little bit of that in me, growing up. I was like undersized, skinny kid. Um, no one kind of expected me to,
Kind of
you know,
an underdog story. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, he was definitely like an underdog. So kind of seeing that in him kind of gravitated me towards him in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's super dope. I mean, who doesn't love to watch Steph Curry play?
right.
He's greatest shooter of all time. You can't argue with that. Um, his game is great. His handle's even underrated.
His handle.
But how have you tried to like in college? Like, have you tried to train some ways he does, or work on moves he has, or get shots off the way he does? I mean, have you done any of that? Have you taken any of that into your college game?
For sure. Yeah. Throughout my career, like, I mean, I would definitely like always watch Curry highlights because, like, why not? Like
Yeah,
you could always pick up something from him.
definitely.
And yeah, I mean, I know I saw something probably like a couple years ago that it said that like Curry used to put up about like 300 shots a day in college, put up
Mhm.
300 shots up a day. So that's something I implemented from like my freshman year of college. Like I will always find time in the morning, during the day, like in between classes to go in the gym, hop on a gun, and just get up a bunch of shots. And that, like, I could say like that definitely helped me throughout my college career, with just muscle memory and, making sure my shot is, where it needs to be. So for sure, that's something I definitely took away from Steph throughout my career in
Now,
college.
coming out of high school, like where were you at? Were you ranked? Were you not on the charts? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then like how did that motivate you as a hooper in college? Coming in your freshman year. Yeah, just give us a little bit of backstory on that.
yeah. Like I said, growing up, I was like underrated, underdog. So like, I mean, this is backing up. Like in middle school, I was cut my sixth and seventh grade year from
Okay.
a team. Eighth grade, I finally made it, but I got put on JV. And
Oh.
you're in eighth grade, so like
Yep.
like that's kind of like disrespectful, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
No.
yeah, and coming into high school, I had a chip on my shoulder, so I made the freshman team, played good enough. Towards the end of the year, got moved up to JV, which was a good accomplishment for me.
Oh yeah.
Sophomore year, had a full year of JV, started, got my confidence up. Then my junior year, finally got on varsity in high school. Didn't get a lot of minutes, had some issues with the coach or whatever. So yeah, and in my senior year, our coach had left, so we had a new coach, and then that's kind of like my year where I kind of took off a little bit.
Okay.
Like, had a good year, averaged around like 14 points, started all the games. I was probably one of the older guys on the team, so I was a captain. Um, and yeah, I got all conference offer honors and stuff like that, but still I wasn't heavily recruited, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, so I didn't have any offers until my I didn't have any offers the whole year, so I ended up playing JV, or sorry, not JV, AAU,
Okay. Who
and
did you play
towards
for AAU?
a small team in Delaware,
Okay.
called
Oh,
Delaware High.
okay. Okay. Is that where are you originally from Delaware?
Yep, originally from Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay. Okay. So you can keep going on. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Nah,
no.
you're good. Nah, yeah, I was just gonna say like, so I didn't have any offers, and I was getting worried. I'm like, and I was telling my mom, I can remember, I'm like, oh, like, I mean, it's July, school's about to start in August. I have no offers. Like, what is going, And
What's
so,
gonna happen?
yeah, and I mean, luckily, and I thank God for my AU coach, Coach Shep, that was his name. He allowed me to continue playing with like the younger guys, like who were about to be seniors, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And usually people my age at that age, like they stop playing AU because they already got
They're
off.
already in college. They're already training with their college team. They're already off on
Exactly.
campus.
Exactly. So, I thugged it out, played that entire summer, and then the last tournament of the summer, I finally got noticed by head coach Mike McGarvey at the time at Lycoming College.
Okay.
And yeah, towards the end of the summer, visited Lycoming, and then I decided yeah, I'm coming. So it was tough though to persevere, but man, I did,
It was
and
worth it.
it was worth it. Yeah,
And that's all a part of the journey. That's the great part. You know what I
exactly.
mean? The struggles. Just like I broke my wrist last year and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. You know what I mean? I had a podcast. We had an idea, but like I didn't know it would turn into something that you know what I mean that I love doing.
Right.
So just like the struggles, I mean the journey, that's what it's all about, man.
It's all about, man.
It's great to hear. Um, what were some of the things coming into your freshman year in college that I wouldn't say you struggled with, but like what was getting your foot in the door for college? Like, did you have any of those problems at all?
Yeah, starting off at college, I was just grateful to be there,
Oh
after
yeah.
you feel me?
Yeah.
But nah, like it was, a learning experience, first couple days of practice, like I remember, man, I was tired, like
Yeah.
it's the difference from a high school practice to a college
Oh
practice,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So like, playing against bigger guys, older guys who've been in college for 3 years, playing against 22, 21, 23 year olds as an 18-year-old. Like it was some adjusting to, you know, some adjustment for me. But like, looking back now, man, and I kind of just played like free, like I was a freshman, so I really wasn't afraid to make mistakes. I knew I was going to make them. You know what I mean? And I think that just is what helped me. Like I was very youthful on the basketball court, meaning like, man, I brought like a different type of side, like of energy, especially offensively. Like I was a gunner. Like my coach would have to try to tell me, like, yo, slow down. Like you don't gotta shoot everything. Like, but my confidence was so high. Um, so yeah, like it took me a while to get used to the game, but once I got into it and found my role, that's when it really started to take off for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then how long after that did you get into TikTok
yeah,
and social media?
yeah. Though that's like the young Matty Ice days that like not a lot of people know about. I didn't start TikTok until the end of my junior year, right? So like half of my college career was already over.
Was that COVID? Was that pre-COVID?
That was during COVID.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
that was like a little bit after COVID. Once COVID started to die
Die
down a
down a
little,
little bit.
that's when I started. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
And then how did that what did that do to you? I mean you're kind of you're blowing up on TikTok. I mean you're hooping in college, and at the same time, I mean you're faith-based, just like our podcast. We have a faith-based podcast. So how did you control like basketball with faith and school, and how did you keep God first in that situation?
Yeah. How do I keep God first, like while being in school and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
and hooping and having TikTok, you know what I mean? Social media expanding and everything like that. How did you keep God first?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I always had the foundation of Christ, and it hasn't been easy, you know what I mean? Like we all,
Oh, we all
fall.
fall short.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like I'm not gonna say I was perfect or
No, no,
anything like
no.
that. Like I definitely like struggled with it. But what I did consistently, and what I still try to do to this day is like continue to keep him first and like know like because I know like without God I would have never been in college playing basketball. Without God, I wouldn't be, you know, on social media and doing my thing on social media and stuff like
Yep.
that. So man, like I just try to keep him first, and it could be little things like, just man saying thank you for waking me up this morning. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like little, just like keeping him first, because like God gave me all of this that I have now, and He could easily take it
Take it
away.
all away.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just try to like in everything, the highs, the lows, just keep him first.
Okay. Man, that's super dope. And it can be
Yeah,
difficult sometimes. Like you get you
sure.
you get so you get I don't want to say ahead in life, but you know what I mean? You're running at this quick pace, and
Yeah,
days are going by so fast, weeks are going by, months are passing. I mean, look, we're almost in April.
it's
I mean,
crazy.
we're halfway through March, and days just fly by. And
Yeah,
it can be hard to, you know what I mean, take time out of your day because you feel like it's so consumed with everything else. But I mean, being able to just put things aside and, you know what I mean, sit down and really
yeah,
think.
for
So
sure, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And getting back into college, like what are the pros and cons of hooping in college? Like not you know what I mean? Like there's sacrifices you have to make at the end of the day, but there's also things that come with those sacrifices that can be very beneficial. So can you get into that?
Yeah, I'll start with the pros first, like man, you get to continue to play like the game you love, like man, like people I say this like, people from back home, like if you go to college like far off or anywhere, like
Yep.
your friends and your family from back home, like they're really gonna be proud of you. You know what I mean? Like not a lot of people play basketball, not a lot of people get to watch their friends or someone they grew up with on you
TV.
know,
And
TV or
not a lot of
something.
people get to have that opportunity to actually play.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I mean? So, and then I was fortunate to win championships. Like I got 3 championships, and like it's just amazing to be on the team and be grinding for like so many months, and then to win.
Yeah.
Uh, that's just a blessing. Like man, like playing or like going to lift. Funny moments in the locker room, like just being like kind of like you kind of feel like you're in the NBA a little bit, like some
Yeah.
you know.
Like the stuff people don't see behind the scenes is what you're talking about. Like the bonding you have with certain teammates. I'm not gonna say all teammates because not everybody gets along. We're gonna be honest here. You're not always
Yeah,
gonna get along with all your teammates, but um,
yeah.
but like the memories you make, everything like that is all part of the experience.
The memories, the gear,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
yeah,
the gear.
it's nice playing. Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. And so
definitely.
it's like, and that's a probably old pie. Like, man, like college basketball, there's so much pros to it. Cons though, like, man, it takes a lot of your time. Like, it takes a lot of your time. You're always busy. Um, if you're not playing well, that could affect your mental health. If you don't get a lot of minutes, which is a reality. Like, sometimes players don't play, and that could be you know, that could be tough on your mental.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just a sacrifice, bro. Like, since it's been over for me, like, I went back home after we lost, I went home for spring break. I
Yeah.
got to watch one of my cousins play, and I haven't even watched him play in a minute, but that's because I've been so busy. So like it kind of put it in perspective, like, wow, like, man, this is like the first time where I've been able to just like, yo,
Actually sit and
sit and be like a real like real person for
yeah.
real. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's just a grind though. It's worth it, but like it's got its pros and cons to it. Yeah.
How was it dealing like I know your season didn't end the way you guys wanted it to end, but how is it dealing with loss? Like, how is that in college basketball? Is that difficult? I will not, you know what I mean, in the sense of it is difficult, but like, how did you deal with that? How did you cope with loss, especially it being your last year?
Yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah, it sucks. Like in the moment, it does suck. But like you learn from it. Like nothing. I kind of try to have the mentality. It's hard to have this mentality, but like I try to have the mentality to like, you know, everything is like a loss is a lesson. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Like you always learn something from it. And in my case, like yeah, it's my last year, but at the same time, I'm grateful for the years that I've had. You feel me? And like,
definitely.
I'm also excited, like, for the future and what could come
Yeah,
next. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it sucks to lose, but like, it
it's a
ain't the end of the
lesson.
world. It's just basketball at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a lesson.
Yeah,
It's a
it's just
lesson. I like how
basketball.
you said that. It's not a loss. It's a lesson. It's a
Right.
lesson, and you have to actually learn from it. I like how you phrase that. But let's get in back into the season. What were some of the highlights from your season? Like
This year,
yeah, like what were some of your like high moments? And then you can also get into low moments as well if you feel comfortable doing that. But like what were some of your high moments this year?
nah, yeah, high moments, man. Like, so, man, this is a new school for me. I transferred
Yep.
from Wyoming to Lancaster Bible. Uh, so yeah, man, I've had some high moments, just getting to know a new set of teammates, a new set of coaches, you know what I mean? Like that was great. It's some really cool people here. Like I said, getting a win with these guys and go to war and practice lifts. Uh, like yeah, like it was great, man. Honestly, like it was definitely great. So I'd say just like the whole like just how I said earlier, like the experience like was great. Some lows and I don't, I'm comfortable talking about the lows because there's always going it ain't
Yeah,
pretty.
not everything's sunshine and rainbows and
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, for me this year, like I was a 4-year starter at my old school. Here it wasn't the case. Like I I was kind of like a reserve player here earlier in the year. Like it was tough for me to kind of get
Crack the
like gel
rotation.
in with everybody
Yeah.
and gel in with the system and learn the system in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was rough. You know what I mean? So and then at points, me and the coaching staff didn't see eye to eye, and it just resulted in me kind of just being a reserve player for like most half of the season. So it was rough, mentally, just trying to get through that and like take on a different role, knowing that I could be out there helping the team. But, it's all good because I learned a lot throughout the process.
Yeah.
I got to be a good teammate and help, us in practice get the job done. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because even though like you might have not played as much, you know what I mean? You still, people don't see that. People really don't see that. They're looking from the outside in, not the inside
Yeah,
out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They don't see the impact that actually like role players bring to a team. You know what I mean? Like even in
sure.
practice, even if it's being the best teammate on the bench, you know what I mean? Because like a thing that I ran into this year, and I'll be open about it with our middle school team, is our bench. Like we would be winning in games, and our bench just had that nobody like. You know what I mean? They didn't like that they'd rather be out there playing. You know, I mean, they
Yeah,
didn't want to support our team, and
yeah,
we ran into that issue, especially when we got in tough games. You know what I mean? Because we had no bench morale. We had no team
right.
morale.
Yeah,
Nobody really liked each other, and I'll be open and honest about that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. It is what it is. We didn't have a bad season. But I know how to. You know what I mean?
yeah,
People look from
yeah,
the outside in.
yeah, man. That's important. Like, because I know what it's like. Like, I used to be on the other side. Like, I used to play 40, 35 minutes a game. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
know, like, coming to the bench, like, I want to be celebrated and I want to be encouraged. You know what I mean? So that was one thing. Like, I didn't like just because I wasn't playing, I didn't want to reflect that negative energy
On your
onto.
team,
You know what I mean? That's corny to me. You know what I mean?
because it's not gonna help your team at the end of the day either. You know what I mean? Yeah,
At the end of the day, right? You know
that
what I
can kill a
mean?
team.
Exactly. And I did not want to be like a cancer to the team or anything like that.
Yeah,
So I made sure I was, trying to be as much as I could, like supportive and, helpful in any way I could,
yeah.
At times, like I said, like, bro, I'm human, like
Everybody, listen. Everybody's gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes on a daily basis. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
not.
like,
Listen. I'm not sitting up here saying, "Oh, I'm the best teammate ever." That I've never ran into those issues. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, we've all fall short.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm human. Like, so was it sometimes like I was pissed on the bench? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like hoopers, bro. We want to play. But like, I had to constantly like remind myself, like, yo, it's bigger than me. You know what I mean? Like it's bigger than me. So I tried to be that teammate,
yeah,
that great, good teammate. So yeah.
definitely. Definitely. And like with the younger generation that you inspire, because you inspired me. Like I broke my wrist, and like man, I was down. I was like, man, I didn't ever think I was gonna play basketball again because I broke my shooting hand and I fractured my radius, and I was like, oh man. But you inspired me. But like, what do you try to preach to the younger generation that watches you and follows you?
Yeah. And I appreciate that, bro, for real.
Yeah,
I try to preach like, man, like I talked about my story earlier, and I kind of like just try to when I post, man, I try to um put
uplifting.
yeah, I would try to put my shoe or try to be in their shoes, because I know how it's like
Yeah,
to feel, you know underlooked, underrated, and in your situation, like I know how I've never had a huge injury like that,
yeah,
gratefully, but I know it's like to like kind of lose hope.
yeah,
So like when I post, like I try to think like, okay, like man, how can I like uplift somebody, and I think that's like the main thing I try to do with my platform. Like again, it's bigger than me. Like I could post mad highlights of myself,
all about
like
me. Yeah,
yeah. But at the end of the day, like that's and I'm what I'm building here on social media, I'm trying to like take it way bigger than what it is. And the
yeah,
only way it's gonna happen is if I bring value rather than uplift myself, if that makes sense.
yeah.
You know
No.
what I mean? So I'm trying to build a community and
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. Yep, you try to
you
build
know
a
what I mean?
community. Ice
I'm trying
fam,
to build
you have Ice fam.
it's a movement, bro. It's
Yeah,
a movement. So yeah, man, it's all about that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? So if I can uplift somebody to chase their dreams, because anything's possible, bro. Sometimes like we cut ourselves short because we got haters in our ears just
talking
speaking,
all the
just
time. Yeah,
talking.
talk. Yeah,
You know what I mean? So like if I could be that one, it's like, yo, you know, you may not be where you want, but like you can get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I that's my job, bro. That's what I want to do. And at the same time, you know, pull others closer to Christ because
Yeah.
without him, you feel me? Like,
Nothing's possible.
you know, yeah.
No,
So
not that's one thing I really respect about you is like you're not afraid to show who you are. You know what I mean? You're not afraid to show, you know what I mean? You'll show what actually is happening. You don't sugarcoat anything, and that's what I really respect about you.
appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then like after I know we were talking about this like earlier, like off camera, but like what are you looking like? What after basketball? Because I know basketball's finished, and you're finishing up school right now. What do you what's next for Ice Fam?
What's next? Yeah, man. That's like everybody been asking me that. Currently, like, man, you know, I'm thinking about it. Like, I don't know for sure what like route it is, if it's continuing to play. Like, I mean, in reality, like I'm always gonna have a basketball in my hand,
Yep.
you know. But like, is that like me playing overseas or playing professionally in some capacity? I don't know yet. Um, but you know, we'll see. You know, I'm praying about it. You know, just gonna see where God takes me. You know, if it's maybe starting like a huge business, if it's, you know, I'm for sure gonna keep posting on social media. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people,
Yeah. Yeah.
my season was over. A lot of people thought like I was just done posting. Like, nah, I'm gonna continue to post. I'm gonna continue to build.
Yeah.
You know, if it's me becoming a full-time content creator, like cool, like that's good too. So I don't know, yeah, but we'll see, man.
You got a couple things for you. You got a couple things in the kitchen cooking right now.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, you could you know you could get some Ice Fam merch.
Yeah, that's
That
a.
that that would be sick. Ice Fam merch.
I used to have some. I'm thinking about bringing it back.
Okay.
So for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that'd be really cool. But, like, what were some of your favorite? I know we talked about your favorite moments from the season, but like overall college experience, like it doesn't even have to be basketball, man. But like, what were your favorite overall college moments? I mean, it could be on the road, like when you guys were traveling, or in class, or anything like that. But like, what were your favorite college moments you had?
Yeah. Um, man, like, you know, it's hard to just it's hard, bro. Like it's so many. Um, I'd say like I'll give some off the court and on the court. Off the court, just throughout most schools, like the both schools I've been at, Lycoming and LBC, you know, just meeting people, building relationships, you know what I mean? Like from the from students to staff to janitors, you know, to cafeteria workers, like, and I've, you know, I'm kind of like an open person, so I'll talk to anybody, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
I feel you.
I'm cool with like some janitors and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I
Because you get to
mean?
know them, you build a date, you see them on a daily basis. You're like, hey, what's up, man?
Exactly. You see
Thank you
him
for
on a
keeping
daily
the school
basis.
clean. Yeah, that type stuff. Yeah.
For sure, bro. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of like building relationships, you know, being on campus and stuff like that, creating content, like, bro,
Yeah.
there's nothing like it. Um, and then on the court, man, like I mean, I already talked about it, you know, just the day-to-day grind, definitely. That's a great moment.
What it's all
I'd say
about.
like winning the three championships, like all three of them meant a lot to me. Especially like throughout like my high school and stuff like that. I never really won anything, but like in college, like I, you know, won three
But
chips,
that's where
which
you want to win it. That's where you want to win it at.
exactly, exactly. Um, I'd say definitely, you know, starting my social media, building that, like definitely was a great time. Like, man, like it would be cool. And I would get trash talk, you know. People would be like, man, you just a TikToker or whatever. I used it as fuel, you know, the other
Dude,
best.
I hate when people say that. Yeah, you're just a
Nah,
TikToker. But you know what? I actually playing on the court. What up? You still there?
yeah, yeah.
Actually playing on like the court and stuff like that. I actually have people like like, man, I love your stuff, but I guarantee you got some of that too, didn't you? I
Yeah,
love
for
watching
sure.
your yeah.
I got both. I got both, which was cool, man. It just it put it into perspective for me. Is like, dang, I'm getting big, man. Like people from freaking like Ohio know me, like dang, like that's tough. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
uh and then I'd say like, I've had some good performances too. Like, it's been games where I've went off, and it was great to just see the work paying off. You know what I mean? Like I'd be grinding so hard, like in the games, like you want it to pay off. So
yep.
it's been games where I've like, man, like I mean, off the top of my head, like I have right now the single game record for most threes in the game at Lycoming
How
for
many's that?
11.
Oh.
So
So
yeah,
that's watching those Steph
yep.
highlights
You know
did
what I
pay
mean?
off.
Yeah, exactly. They paid off. So yeah, man, like no regrets, bro.
Yeah.
It's just been a great experience.
No, for sure. I mean, I hopefully one of these days, I get to play in college as well. But you know what I mean. I'm looking forward to it. We're in AAU just kicked off, so like we're
Okay.
excited about that. We have a good team right now. But no, man. Um,
Uh,
growing up, did you play any AAU at all?
yeah. That's how I kind of got recruited. So I recommend every young Hooper to play AAU.
Okay. What
Hmm.
what like actually getting on recommendations? What would you recommend for the young generation to be able to help push their name out there? You know what I mean? If they're an underdog, what would you tell an underdog that might not be getting noticed? What would you tell them and they're losing hope? What would you tell that kid?
Yeah, man. I was just telling them to yeah, like keep you gotta y- like they're not just gonna find you. Like if you're
No.
unless you're like an ESPN dude,
Yeah.
like you probably won't get
There's very
recruited.
few of those too.
Exactly. So like man, like get on Twitter, you know, get on Twitter, start putting your highlights on there, get a highlight tape if you don't have one. Start emailing coaches. Kind of be realistic too, like if you're a senior and you have no offers and you're kind of like, you know, you, you know what I mean? Like you might not want to hit up Duke. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like anything's
Maybe go
possible,
to a JUCO first or oh
right?
yeah.
Anything's possible, but like I just would be smart about it so you can at least get your foot in the door
Yep.
in the program. You know what I mean? Uh, so yeah, like kind of just putting yourself out there, like email, text, call, do what you got to do to get your name out there.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is kind of, I might in the future hold a recruiting camp, Ice Fam recruiting camp. So
Okay.
like, it's not in stone yet, but like stuff like that, camps also help too. So
Yep. Yeah, no man. Yeah. The underdog story is always great to hear. Everybody hears it. We have March Madness coming up, which who are your top? Who have you set your bracket yet?
I'm not into all that stuff.
Okay.
I did do a bracket though. Just did an auto, like I had it just pick it for me. I think they had who they have winning Texas. They had Texas winning.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I just like watching close games.
I do
I don't
too. Competitive. Yeah. I don't set a bracket either,
yeah,
usually, but hopefully you always like to see a good underdog story in the tournament. And then
right.
last year, what we have St. Peter's.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. But no, man. No, it's always good to see a good underdog story. So
Sure.
yeah. But again, I wish you all the success in the future, man. Hopefully we stay up in contact. We are dropping merch, so I gotta get you a shirt.
Sure.
I'll send you some pictures of what they look like and everything like that. But before we do hop off of here, I want to ask you one more question.
Hmm.
With content creation, if hoopers are looking, don't listen, don't give your sauce away. Don't give your secret sauce away. This is what like we've had like shoe brands and everything on like that, and like people are like, well, I don't want to say I get my stuff out there, but like with content creation, if a hooper wants to start content creation, because I know there's a couple of them that I personally know that want to start like a social media, what would be the right ways of going about that?
I'd say like posting every single day. You
Being
know,
consistent.
yeah, just being consistent. And like from there you'll figure out what you will post about in the future. Like I posted a million different things before I figured out like
What you need.
motivation, funny, relatable content was my lane. So once you post a lot, then a video will probably blow up soon. And then from there, whatever video blows up, you double down and you create content around what they like, you know? And then
Yeah.
from there, you start building the community, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's super cool. I really appreciate you for coming on the podcast, and hopefully one of these days we could do a part 2 after, you know what I mean? You have your stuff that's cooking up in the kitchen right now in the future, but I want to thank you for inspiring the youth and being an inspiration to all of us.
Nah, thank you, bro. I mean, shoot, you're in 8th grade with a podcast, bro. It's big time, man. I ain't gonna lie, that's big time. So keep going, bro. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, man. I really appreciate you for, you know what I mean, taking the time out, coming on the podcast. I wish you all the best, and I'm hoping to see you play overseas. You know what? If you get overseas, I'll buy a jersey.
Oh, okay,
If you
okay.
get overseas, I'll buy a jersey.
Oh man, he trying to make me. Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see,
So
man. I
we'll
appreciate
see if you play overseas.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Thank
Yeah.
you, bro.
Yeah, no, most definitely. But where can they find you out on social media if they want to go follow you?
Yeah, man. Follow me on Instagram at Matt Alodigwe. Um, ILODIGWE. Just type in Matty Ice, you'll probably find it.
Yep.
TikTok, Matty Ice 5.
You guys have probably seen him before.
Yeah, and YouTube, Matty Ice.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'm everywhere. So
Yep.
just
But it was super exciting to having you on, man. This is a really cool episode because it's like I told you earlier I was excited to have you on, but because I've been, you know what I mean, you inspired me, so it's really cool to have you on, man. I'm super
appreciate it.
geeked.
Nah, yeah, it was great, bro. Thank you,
Thank you.
man.
And if we ever do a part 2, it'll be when he's got his stuff cooked and is finished.
Yes, sir.
It'll be when it's cooked and it's finished.
Yes, sir.
All right, my man. Well, you got anything else?
No, man. Thank you again, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
most definitely. I had a blast doing this. But make sure you guys subscribe to us on YouTube, Heat and Soul Podcast. Go listen to us on Spotify, and we have some merch dropping soon in the next coming weeks. Heat and Soul Podcast. Thank you, Matty Ice. Ice fam, stay lit. Heat and Soul
Yes, sir.
Podcast. We're out.
All right.